As promised, off the heels of yesterday's coverage, I got to talk about specifically what outlets have responded to the disclosure of how Twitter handled the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story. They were at the front, okay? They were the tip of the spear. Twitter, under Jack Dorsey at that time, suppressing that information. Obviously, Facebook and all the other big tech platforms followed suit, but Twitter was the first place to lock down the New York Post's Twitter account, Kayleigh McEnany's account as well, for sharing out the story. You couldn't retweet the story, couldn't talk about the story, you couldn't do anything with the story, you couldn't tell a story. But now, the guy who's in charge now, which really does validate all the questions, it's like, what was Twitter hiding when everybody was spurging out about Elon Musk just positing that meme amount in order to, purchase Twitter? And it's like, why are they so against this? What exactly are they hiding? Quite a bit, it seems like. So, Twitter staff to be grilled before Congress for censoring Hunter Biden laptop story. Representative Coomer, top Republican in the House. I know it's Comer, but it's so much funnier to say Coomer. House Oversight Committee said that Twitter staff involved in suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story will have to face Congress to testify about their actions. Representative James Comer, the GOP ranking member of the committee, made the remarks in a Friday appearance on Fox News after Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, dropped part 1 of the so-called Twitter files, an expose on the inner workings of Twitter's censorship machine. Every employee at Twitter that was involved in suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story will have an opportunity to come before Congress and explain their actions to the American people. Comer was on the CIA's favorite son's show, Sean Hannity. Musk and independent journalist Matt Taibbi on Friday unveiled a series of internal Twitter communications that gave insight into the steps taken by the staff at the social media platform around suppressing Hunter Biden's laptop story. Republicans have long accused Twitter, some media outlets, of suppressing the story, which included reporting and bolstering claims that the president lied when he said he had no involvement in his son's overseas business dealings. Yeah, but now we got the receipts. We had the receipts all the way back then because that was obviously fucking true. There were some verifiable facts that were in there. It's like, yeah, no, he's using Air Force 2. We got the flight logs, okay? We can see where he's going at all hours of the day, and, we can put 2 and 2 together. It's like Hunter Biden's not exactly this fucking, stalking horse with the fucking galaxy brain who has all these great ideas about energy. How did he get that job at Burisma? And wasn't it funny that Joe, with his penchant for just rambling off at the mouth, I was talking about having the chief investigator fired publicly in order for the United States to continue to do business with the corrupt regime in Ukraine. Not the one that's currently there, okay? The previous administration. Kind of gets the old noggin jogging, but obviously Russian disinformation at the time, and then it wasn't. And then it really wasn't, and now we're here. Messages between Twitter executives in Twitter's communications and policy department, shared by Taibbi in screenshots, show some confusion about the actions taken, with the communication executive writing, "I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe. The disclosures show that both Democrats and Republicans had access to the system, but one side was listened to, and the other one was like, I don't know, you got to file a reply, or have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?" Comer, in his interview on Fox News, said that the Twitter files expose shows the New York Post reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop is being vindicated. But this story is just the beginning, Comer said, because we're going to have every single person at Twitter. James Comer's head is way bigger than his face, and it's fucking throwing me off. He kind of looks like an underling under the Gorbachev regime. It's throwing me off. But yes, the story is just the beginning, because we're going to have every single person at Twitter that was involved in this in the front of the House Oversight Committee as soon as possible. In this thread, Taibbi noted that there was much more to come and promised answers to questions around issues like shadow banning, boosting, follower counts, fate of various individual accounts, and more. Obviously, I'll have an update on that maybe today. Not entirely sure. Depends on how things shake out. But wait, there's more. Secret Service finds hundreds of pages on Hunter Biden gun incident. Guess what? They're ready to go after Hunter Biden now because it's an untenuous position to continue to hold. They'll find a way to get to the bottom of Hunter Biden's stuff, and then maybe, just maybe, find a way to go after Joe Biden so that they can replace him with a candidate that the Democrat establishment can go ahead and handpick. Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton. You never know. You never know. Like we said, like many people have said before, buckle up. The next 2 years are going to get bug-ass fucking wild. And this is just the fucking preview. We're sitting through the credits at this screen. And the next 2 years, off the rocker once the new Congress gets sworn in. Whoo, buddy. U.S. Secret Service has located hundreds of pages of records on Joe Biden's son, Hunter, for a discarded gun. Yeah, the gun that he illegally purchased because he lied on the forms, okay? But I thought all of these forms and these background checks were supposed to prevent illegal guns from being on the street. Funny. I guess Hunter had also had that clarion thought as well. It's like, I shouldn't have this illegal gun. So he threw it into a dumpster across the street from an elementary school. He's a good man. Hunter Biden's sister-in-law and former lover, Hallie Biden, reportedly threw his handgun in a trash container in Delaware in 2020. Agents with Secret Service and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were reportedly involved. Funny, that happened in 2020. What's come of that investigation? Based on the reports, a transparency group called Judicial Watch filed a freedom of FOIA request. Okay, the words are hard. To the Secret Service asking for records related to the incident, including reports, phone logs, and witness statements. Secret Service, as its initial April 2021 response, said it located records and would process them. But more than a year later, in October, it said the response was sent in error and that the agency had never actually located any responsive records. Wow. Oh, yeah, that response, that was an error. I'm sure. That's like that same lady. It's like, oh, that was a glitch. I know we were supposed to get back to you, but just a glitch in the system. Since the complaint was filed, the parties have conferred about the intended scope of Judicial Watch's FOIA request, and in response, the United States Secret Service has run supplemental searches and located over 100 records totaling 400 pages, potentially responsive to Judicial Watch's request. Under the clarified understanding of that request, the Secret Service and Judicial Watch said in a joint case report filed November 10th with the U.S. Court in D.C. The Secret Service's changing story on the records raises additional questions about the role in the Hunter Biden gun incident. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said in a statement, "One thing is clear, Judicial Watch's presence means the public may get the records that the Secret Service suggested did not exist." The Blaze, citing an anonymous source, reported in 2018 that in October of that year, Hallie Biden, the widow of Hunter Biden's brother Beau, there's so many Bidens in this situation, it's almost like a Game of Thrones. A recap. Took Hunter Biden's gun and put it in a garbage can outside of a supermarket. Delaware State Police told the outlet that the case was referred to the Delaware Department of Justice. I'm sure justice was swiftly dealt out, right? The Delaware State Police rejected a request on the record. For the records in the matter, the Department of Justice had not returned an inquiry. Agents in the Secret Service and ATF visited the gun store from which Hunter Biden purchased the gun in question, according to the Blaze. Politico, citing a police report and anonymous sources, reported in 2021 that the gun was disposed of near a Jansen Market in Greenville, prompting calls from two people, including the store's general manager. "Yo, we got a Glock in the trash. Can somebody come deal with this?" "We complied with the police and gave them whatever security footage we could," Paula Jansen, the general manager, told the outlet. Police questioned both Hallie and Hunter. When the latter was asked if the gun had been used in a crime, Hunter's like, "No, I just used it to kind of clear out my ears." Hunter became very agitated with me and asked me if I was intentionally trying to make him mad. "Hey, do you know who I am? Don't make a crackhead mad." A police officer wrote. Hunter Biden also said he believed Hallie thought he was going to commit the self-deletion. Text messages from Hunter Biden's laptop reportedly show that he was irate when he learned that Hallie Biden had done, telling her that she had humiliate me. "I have humiliate. You have humiliate me. I am robot. I'm sorry. I just want you safe." "That was not safe," she replied. "I'm scared of guns." She replied, adding that it was in a car that was unlocked with the windows down, and I'm scared you would use it. Oh my God. Government lawyers have claimed that the complaint lacked merit. Oh, really? But now say they'll produce the documents they've identified pending communications with the executive branch. Yeah, I expect these to be released somewhere between now and never. Secret Service will complete its initial processing of any potentially responsive records by January 9th, 2023. Sure, I'm sure that there's not going to be a release. Yeah, we're going to need some additional times. It's like 400 pages, yo. And send out any necessary consultations with other executive branch entities by that date. Yeah, that's always one of those additional lines in any contract that's out there. This is all subject to the pleasure of a certain party, that being the executive branch. Who heads the executive branch, by the way? Exactly. If any response, non-exempt records do not require consultation. United States Secret Service will produce those records to the plaintiff by January 9th. All right, for any response, non-exempt records that are out on consultation, United States Secret Service intends to produce those to plaintiff on a rolling monthly basis as they become available. Is that kind of like that COVID, the vaccine documentation, where it's like, we're going to need 75 years in order to produce all of these documents? Oh, okay. The report would include how many pages had been processed, how many were given to Judicial Watch, how many had been sent to the executive branch, and how many would be withheld. Oh, yes, parties propose to file their next joint report by January 13th. All right, U.S. District Judge Dabney Friedrich, a Trump appointee overseeing the case, see, so corrupt, agreed to the proposal. All right, then. Well, I guess we're going to have to see then. I'd imagine this is, at least for me, the fact that they're hearing this concern and taking it somewhat seriously, I think they're just getting the ball rolling because they know that many more shoes are going to drop in regards to Joe Biden. And we've been seeing some reports that are out there that, oh, Joe Biden, he's not quite as popular as we thought. Okay, some of the shine is starting to come off. And if we were talking about Justin Trudeau, it would be shoe shine and it would be all over his face. But no, this is about Joe. And the fact that they pushed him right across that finish line. But now they got somebody else, okay? Now you can hand off the baton. He can still continue to just, stay in that wheelchair. We'll just put him out on his front porch in Delaware. God knows he spends enough time there. 40% of his presidency has been spent on vacation. Ugh. And then the adults can come back into the room. Fucking yuck. I'm still totally expecting by the end of January Kamala Harris to get put in place. I'm not saying that's a certainty. I'm just saying if there's an announcement, it's not going to shock me at all whatsoever. Because you know that she's probably, whenever Joe's, out on vacation, let's just say she does the Homer Simpson carpet run in the middle of the Oval Office, knowing that one day this will all be hers. I'm sure that's what was promised to her at the time, that she was hand-selected to be Joe Biden's running mate. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.